Hello, everyone. Conservative white Christian male here. I saw something on the news tonight that caught my eye, and so I just had to look it up online to see if what I saw was what I saw. I started by going to the website for the news station that I saw the story on originally because something on the television caught my eye was that nearly a third of all restaurant workers were undocumented workers. Something else on their website caught my eye in their story. It talked about the number of increase of immigrants since 2007. And so I wanted to do a little more looking into that. And what I found was that it's gotten worse since 2007. And if you remember, we had the Great Recession came in that time. But since that time, immigrants have taken over more jobs than native-born Americans. And immigrants, when I say immigrants, I need to clarify that according to the U.S. government, the Department of Labor, they don't specify between whether somebody here is legally or illegally. They're just all put together, whether they're refugees or on a work visa, or if they're here illegally, they're just considered foreign-born. That's according to the U.S. government. And so the terms they use are misleading, which is, if you look at it, it's odd because for everything else they separate by sex, by color, by race, by whether you're Latino or not. But for the immigrants, they don't specify, and I think that they're doing that on purpose to hide the truth. It's quite sad and frustrating to see that all this supposed job growth that we've had from the recovery, which I call it a supposed recovery because things aren't looking so good for me. I have to go further to find work, and the wages are not the same as they were, years ago. But when you find out here that the net growth since 2007 has gone to immigrants, and that's foreign-born people. This is from the Department of Labor information. And then when you look at the native-born people, there's actually fewer of us working than were in 2007. It's to me, it's like, the immigrants, they take the day off to brag about, hey, look at what we've done. We've taken so many of your jobs, we can afford to take the day off. This report showing Bureau of Labor Statistics data really brings home some of the changes in it. We got, just the percentages that have changed throughout the years since 2007. Now, granted, this only goes up to 2014. So I tried to find some numbers since then, and I found a little bit of data up to 2015 and a little for 2016. But I don't know how to use these numbers yet. Their websites are not that user-friendly, and I need to spend more time trying to figure it out, and I can come up with something more updated at another time. But I think that if you look at these, you can see that it's just striking that we're really losing out, the native-born people, to the immigrant stuff. And, there's problems also with the H-1B visas. And I don't know if you're familiar with these, but that's where people come over here because they have special skills and stuff like that. And they're not supposed to displace workers. But we know that, like Disney had their people train these people, to take over their jobs. And they have lower pay. They don't have to pay Social Security for them. And then they use them for about 5 years until they have to be required to pay benefits. And then they let them go and bring in a new batch. And some of those people stay, and then they become illegal immigrants at that point. They're illegal aliens. They're not immigrants. They're here illegally. They're trespassing. They're breaking and entering. I don't know what you want to call it, but they're not legal by any means. So not only has all the job growth gone to foreign-born people, the ones of us that are still working and paying the majority of the taxes still, it's costing us billions of dollars for the people that are here illegally. In California alone, it's estimated $25 billion. Because, everybody that's here, all the immigrants, I'm using air quotes here, not all of them are working. Some of them come over with their families. They're not working. They're not providing. They're not paying taxes. They're not being beneficial. They're parasites to the economy. And I looked up some stuff on this to see what the numbers might be, and it's very frustrating. We're talking billions of dollars just for this state of California alone. It's not true that they're only taking jobs that Americans won't do. Because I will tell you one thing: my parents grew up doing farm labor. My mother grew up in the 50s and 60s. Well, my dad did too, but I know that both of them, separately, they followed crops. They did seasonal work here and there. Uh, Throughout the 50s, 60s, and even into the 70s and into the 80s, I remember that a lot of the farm workers were white. I I started in the 70s, as a kid, helping out at the fruit stands and stuff like that, and making a little money. Minimum wage was like $3.15 an hour, I think, back then. But when I was in high school in the 80s, I was still working. I would go to work for different farms, different seasons, different crops, different farmers that I would work for, to earn some extra money. It's something that our teenagers don't get a chance to do because the service jobs, like I showed there, according to CBS, 32% are taken by illegal aliens. Now, that's just undocumented workers. They don't say what the percentage is that are documented workers. So, that number is higher. But those are entry-level jobs that our teenagers don't get a chance to get. They don't get a chance to learn the job skills that you need that. You need to have a little bit of money, work hard for it, learn how to manage your money, learn how to do what your boss says, and you learn how to work with other people. It's a whole social thing. You need to learn that. And our teenagers aren't getting that now. They just don't have the chance because who can pay somebody $15 an hour as a minimum wage when you can pay somebody under the table illegally? Not only is the cash price lower per hour that you're going to pay them because you don't have to abide by any standards because it's illegal for them to work for you, so why pay them the full price? So you can still, for $10 an hour, pay somebody less. Not only are you saving $5 an hour just on the cover price right there, but think of how much an employer's saving. They're not paying into FDIC. They're not paying into any other health benefits. They're saving so much more money that when you pay somebody $15 an hour, it's really closer to 25 to 30 that you're really paying that person. It's probably even more when you take into consideration that you have to train that person, because at that basic rate of entry level minimum wage, you have to train those people. That's what they're there for. That's why they're making minimum wage, because they are unskilled labor, and you are providing them the skills, and you're paying them to learn those skills. Please don't misunderstand me. Immigration is a part of this country. It's how most of us got here. But keep in mind, those who don't protect their borders or monitor who comes in, historically don't survive. And a good example of that is who did not monitor who came in nor protect their borders well enough. That's all the indigenous people of North and South America, for one thing. So that's something to keep in mind. The Europeans and, Spain, Portugal, the other places, that were big at the time, England, they all took over. Even in South America, what do they speak? They speak Spanish. That's a European language. That's not a language native to the indigenous people of South America, is it? No, it's not. So, just history repeats itself, and so you have a chance to learn here. If we don't protect our borders and see what's going on, we won't be what we are anymore. And I don't know why people want to come to this country and then destroy it. Because if you come here breaking the law, it's clear that you have no respect for our law. And that's the point that I want to make, is that people, when they come here, we need to make sure that the people that come here want to be a part of our country. They want to make our country great. They want to add to it. They want to be a part of it. We don't want people here that want to destroy it and make it like the place that they're coming from. And that's all I want to make clear. I've got nothing against people coming here. Somewhere along the line, I've got no idea where they came from or when. But I'm white. I think I've got some Native American in there mixed in somewhere. But for the most part, I don't know where I came from. So somebody immigrated at one time over here, and I understand that. I can't argue that point. But to the best of my knowledge, I don't think they came here illegally. I'm not certain, though. Who knows? The point is, we need to be aware of who comes in. We need to be aware of the motives of the people coming in. We need to think about the people here first, and we need to protect the people that are here first. And by protect, I mean jobs, culture, language, everything that's America, we need to protect. That's the important thing. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I hope you can learn from this, and it's not all bad news, but it's really something that you need to see. It's knowledge is power. So anyway, please like and subscribe, and if you can, support me on Patreon. And have a good week.